Netflix ruined Suspense. If you were alive during the time before streaming, you watched the newest episode of your favorite show on a Thursday or Friday evening, and then while watching the show, crazy stuff will be happening, but then at the end of the episode, the craziest thing happened. It would cut to black, and when it cut back, you would get a montage of next week's episode to get you excited, like, oh my god, I can't believe what just happened. So there'll be an extra cliffhanger on the cliffhanger you were just given. That feeling has completely been destroyed because now there is no week-to-week episodes. Cliffhangers are resolved within the next 10 minutes because Netflix decided to drop all of their episodes at once. They decided to drop full seasons at one time so that they could support binge watching and get a lot of people watching at once. When in reality, as a viewer, that's not the optimal experience. If you just look at the patterns of watching shows, back then it was like you would watch the show, right? Like I said, Thursday, Friday evening, you would watch the show. Over the weekend, you would meet up with your friends or you would go out and do something, go to a get together. Bro, did you see the episode last night? Did you see what happened? Did you see what Tom said to Katie? That was insane, right? That was crazy. I wonder how his dad's gonna react to him finding out that his brother-in-law's sister was having sex with his grandma's uncle. You would just be like building suspense and excited to see what happened. The other person's like, oh yeah, I saw that too. Or they'll be like, no, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch it tonight. There's a rerun. They're gonna replay it again. So no spoilers, please, no spoilers. Spoilers are also a completely different thing now, but that's another time. So the weekend would pass and then Monday would come and then you're back at work and now you're talking to your coworkers. Did you see the episode last Friday, bro? Did you see that episode when that thing happened where the monkey jumped off of the gorilla's back and landed into the lake of volcanoes? Like, that was crazy, right? And then you would do this over the entire week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you would do this every day with random people until Friday comes along. Now you're built up and you're ready. You're like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna happen, bro. As if you're like a wrestler waiting in the green room to get out there. And then you watch the episode, and now, after a week, 7 days of waiting, you get that release of energy, that release of suspense. You get that satisfaction of, oh, that's what happened. That's how they resolved it. Compare that to now, where a show will drop on a Friday, the entire season, in a compact form where it used to be 20, 25 episodes in a season. Now it's only 8, so that you can watch it all in a single day. You watch it, at the end of each episode, there is a sort of cliffhanger that they want you to like gasp for air. What happened? And then literally within the next 3 minutes, oh, that happened. And they do this over and over again, 8 times in a row, and you're doing it all in one day. So then once you get to the end of it, you're just done. So your excitement starts here for the show. It goes up at the end of each episode and comes down. It goes up and comes down. The old variety, you would watch the episode, and then it'll get to the cliffhanger and it doesn't come down because now you're talking about it throughout the week. So it goes up, it keeps going. And then the next episode comes, it comes down a little bit. So at the end of that season of that show, you're up here. Nowadays, the binge watching era, you're constantly here. You're just here. Not only does it hinder your excitement from episode to episode, but also from season to season. Because now that they drop these compact seasons all at once, they take longer until they release the next season. I'm gonna show you some examples of differences between shows at the time and shows now and how they differentiate in release dates and length. So I'm gonna start with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was an AMC production. It released January 20th, 2008 and ran until September 29th, 2013. That's 5.5 years. Had 5 seasons with 62 episodes. The longest gap I see here is from the first season to the second season, which was 1 year and 2 months, which that was the airing episode. We have to check the last air stats. So it was literally a year. It was a year between the release of the first season and the second season, 1 year between the second and the third season, a little over a year from the third season to the fourth, less than a year between the fourth and the fifth season. So you did not ever go much longer than a year waiting for a new season. Now compare that to Netflix's baby, Stranger Things. It's been running since 2016. Has had 4 seasons with 34 episodes. That's 1 less season with half the amount of episodes. Season 1 released July 15, 2016. The second season, October 27, 2017. That is about 1 year and 3 months, okay? That's still decent, we're not too far off. Between the second and third season, over 1.5 years. So in between 1.5 years and 2 years between the second and third season. Between the third and fourth season of Stranger Things, there are almost 3 years.
Look at this dummy. So passionate about the subject, he completely forgot about a global event that halted production for most of that time. Lucky for him, the reason behind the gap is kinda irrelevant, seeing as the subject at hand is the loss of suspense from releasing shows full seasons at a time compared to periodically. So the reason behind the gaps are less important because suspense drops nonetheless. So don't worry, he may have lost track for a moment, but he'll be right back on it. Let's continue.
There's almost 3 years between a season with a complete, between both seasons, 16 episodes. Where in comparison to Breaking Bad, we never had more than a year and a couple months. That's not how you build suspense. As I said before, at the end of an episode, you build suspense and you carry that suspense onto the next week for the next episode. That's the same with seasons. At the end of a season, most shows end on a cliffhanger and build suspense for the next season. If the next season takes 2 to 3 years to come out, by that point, I do not care. At that point, the suspense I gained from the finale is gone. It's disappeared. So now the only thing holding me onto that show is if I'm interested in the plot or not. Like, particularly that show, because there's so many. If I'm particularly interested in that show, that's my only reason. Not because like, oh man, I can't believe what happened to this, that, and that person. And then you see commercials for the next season already. We didn't even take that into consideration. The trailer for the next season has already come out. So you only wait like 2-3 months after the finale for the trailer to come out. Now the trailer's out like, oh man, they showed in the trailer that the vault might mean this. The numbers might mean this or that thing. And then it comes out and you're ready to keep going. But now you'll get a season. You watch it all at once. There's no suspense built over the season. Then there's a cliffhanger at the end of the season. You're like, oh, I guess I'll know about that whenever. And then by the time the trailer drops, which is like a year and a half for the next season, if at all, because usually they drop the trailer quickly, like, I wanted to speak in German, kurz before the next season comes out. So it's like a month beforehand. And by that time, you see the plot point and you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to what was that one person's name? What did they do again? Yeah, they jumped into the pool and then what was their relation to the main character? Were they still there after that big event happened? That's how it is now. If all else fails, you need to rewatch the show, and I cannot do that. Like, I could watch maybe the last couple episodes to get a recap. This birthed a bunch of YouTubers. Now on YouTube, you can get the quick recaps, and then you watch something in like 5 minutes, you have the whole season summarized, which that's a lot of help. But the suspense and the enjoyment of watching the show is gone. The reason this happens is because the production, right? As the show is going on, so let's take Breaking Bad again. As season 2 has aired and is going over the span, is releasing over the span of, let's say, 6 to 8 months, during that time, they're already filming the next season. So by the time the season ends, they'll already have the ready to drop the next season within the next few months. But now you don't have that anymore. You don't have that span of time between the beginning of airing and the production time to where you can just drop the next season quickly. I just finished watching Fallout on the weekend. Fallout was really good, but it also all released at once. Spoiler alert, there's a cliffhanger at the end of Fallout. And I see that, I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I can't wait to see more of that in 2 years. Once I've grown into a different person, because you need to take that into account too. So when it comes out, you're a different person, suspense is gone, interest is gone, memory is gone. What left do you have? Time. That's the only thing keeping people watching these shows, that they have the time to watch it at once. And that's it. You don't have any like excitement for watching the show. I never heard anybody excited for a new season to drop. I hear people excited to talk about it the first couple of days after the season drops and after they watched it, but excited for the new season? I don't know. I've never heard somebody, oh man, did you hear that this show's coming out now, next season of this show? Because gets canceled all the time. Shows you will watch, you will love, and you will never see again. They will just don't commit to these shows. They committed to Breaking Bad. They didn't know if it was going to go good or not, but they already started the filming of the next seasons. These streaming services know that if you don't like the show, they'll just have another one for you to watch. And if you do like it, maybe it'll stick. But they're not betting on that. A show that does this differently, that has an exception to the rule of releasing all at once, is The Bear. What makes this show good, what makes this show do it in a very good way, they reversed it. They don't end on the cliffhanger on the episodes and the seasons. They end on the resolution. They end on resolve. They end on a spot where everybody's doing well, everybody's okay, and everything's working out. And they begin the season with the cliffhanger. And they have the cast work on it throughout the season and fix it by the end. So then by the end, you're satisfied with the resolve. And then when the next season comes out, you're ready, like, oh, I wonder what's going on in their lives now. So now I'm ready. I'm not waiting for a third season. I am happy for when it happens. And all these other shows keep you waiting to the point, and when you're waiting for too long, what happens if you're at a store? I do this all the time. I walk into a store, I see the line at the cash register, and I walk out of the store. Because I already know by the time I get there, it's not going to be worth me getting like a Gatorade and some beef jerky. Or at amusement park, I don't like amusement parks, not because I don't like roller coasters. I don't want to stand in a line for 2 hours for 5 minutes of excitement. These shows are like roller coasters. You wait forever, you get 5 minutes of excitement, and then you leave until you have to wait forever again for the next excitement. Now, I know a lot of these episodes should end with maybe a solution of how they should do it. I guess The Bear is kind of a solution. Just restructure 2 resolutions. Either restructure shows so that there's resolution at the end of the episodes instead of a cliffhanger, or to start releasing on a weekly basis again. Start releasing weekly or bi-weekly. Not bi-weekly. I want to say twice a week, but I said every 2 weeks. Release twice a week. Drop on a Wednesday and it's like, I forgot to mention it. Quick rundown, Invincible, the first season was fun, I loved it, and then the second season came out and I couldn't care less. Boom. That's his whole video. in a single sentence. That's it. I never liked outros, so dude, is there anything I can say to this? What do you think? Do you enjoy the binge watching era, like the binge watching culture where a season drops at once and you have to wait ages until the next season comes out? Or do you prefer, like I said, the old-fashioned way of releasing episodes on a weekly basis and then only having to wait a couple months for the next season? Because in my opinion, shows that did it like that were way better than shows now, even though the production cost and the production value is much higher now. That doesn't necessarily mean the production is better. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, like and subscribe. I'll be doing more of these kinds of videos in the future. You know what I really didn't like about Fallout was they did the explanation of the thumbs up, which I'm fine with. What I didn't like is that Walton Goggins stood there like this. Obviously, the Fallout boy is like that, the Pip boy. He's like this, but Walton Goggins, I love him as an actor, love him as a dude. That messed me. I did not like that.